That I have. How you doing today?
Perfect. It's not very sunny outside, but it's Saturday. What can be better than Saturday morning?
Fantastic. Well, for everybody who's watching it, this is Metropolitan. We have Anastasia here with EU Startups, and they have a fantastic event that they've been doing for years. How long have you been doing it, Anastasia?
Oh, that's actually been a couple of years now. So this year it will be the ninth edition of the Youth Startup Summit. We had to skip it in 2020, and in 2021 it was online. So in total, I think we organized it for 8 years complete. But yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Okay, and so tell me, what is the EU Startups?
Yes, to start with the company behind EU Startups, we are one of the leading online publications focused on startups. So we're covering all the news around startups that are happening in Europe, providing our readers with data-driven analysis, all possible topics and information that might be interesting for founders, for people from corporate world that are closely looking after startups, for investors. So yeah, the publication been existing since 2010, and we now have a very good reach online and our social media. And eventually, we decided that, oh, you know what? I think our readers really would appreciate connecting in person, and that's how the Youth Startup Summit, first Youth Startups Conference, and later Youth Startup Summit was born.
Okay, and so one of the, I guess, signature events in startups in Barcelona is the EU Startup Summit. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what that is all about?
Yeah, so to describe it in a few words, Youth Startup Summit is all about connection, inspiration, and learning. This time, the Youth Startup Summit will take place on April 2021. It's a 2-day event of networking, inspiration, learning. And the main idea behind is to bring founders and investors together, but also people that are interested in the startup scene, want to get inspired by some stories from tech entrepreneurs that are interested to start their own business, or maybe just finding a job in a startup. Yeah, so this is in short what the Youth Startup Summit is about.
Okay, and so when does it take place this time?
Yeah, April 2021 in Barcelona.
In Barcelona, and is it a full day or is it half days? Tell us a little bit more detail around it.
Absolutely. Now it will be 2 full days, Thursday and Friday, starting from 9 a.m. until about 6 p.m. The event will be packed with the agenda. We'll have two stages. The inspirational stage, bringing the founders, CEOs of successful companies from Europe, and then we'll have also workshop stage with educational content running there. We'll have exhibition hall, networking activities. The event is packed with interesting program and things to do. And also quite important to mention the location. It will be at Palau de Congresos. It's one of the theater pavilions next to Magic Fountain and Plaza España.
Okay, so some of these things I know, obviously, because I've been there and I chat with you guys. But last night I was at a party and I was talking about it, and it still surprises me that some people don't know much about it. So I'm going to ask you some questions that might seem obvious. Now, first thing is it only for tech founders?
It's funny because I also receive this question quite often. And no, it's absolutely not just for tech founders. It's for founders in general, whether it's a tech startup or it's the startup that has nothing to do with technology. Also, everyone who owns a business, everyone who is interested to find out more about business, how to start it, or maybe someone. I'm by myself. I started going to EU Startup Summit when I didn't have a business. I'm not a founder myself, but I love the entire topic about startups, to learn from their journey, the hustle. So it's obviously also the team members of startups or team members of corporates that are just interested in the topic. Those also investors. We have a lot of students that want to learn from the success stories. So absolutely not just tech founders. Pretty much everyone is welcome to the Youth Startup Summit, and you also don't have to be from Europe. You can be from anywhere around the world.
All right, and so what can attendees expect when they go? What's the experience like?
The experience, as I said, yeah, we'll have a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of activities where you can connect with people, ice-breaking exercises. We'll have a big exhibition hall with companies showcasing their products, mainly startups that want to get visibility, meet, and showcase their products because they're not big enough to be on the market, or they're interested to find investors. We'll have also bigger corporations that are on the opposite side, more interested to attract startups, and share their products with startups, or people that are interested basically in their products. We'll have pitch competitions happening at the EU Startup Summit. We have our big main pitch competition, where we selected 15 most promising startups from all over Europe, from 1,300 applications, and they will be competing for a big prize for 160,000 euros. This is a combination of some credits and services, and also two proposals to invest from AI Accelerator and APX Venture Capital. So there's a lot going on, and yeah, we'll have two stages with inspirational content from founders and CEOs of unicorns, unicorns, also donkeys. We'll have some bootstrapped companies speaking. We will have a workshop stage with educational content, very topic focused, and yeah, some different networking parties. A lot, basically. You can expect a lot of fun, a lot of interesting knowledge, connections. That's all it all about.
Okay, and then at a risk of, repeating yourself, what type of content
Yeah.
is going to be, or topic going to be covered?
Yeah. So we are now concerned with around 10 different topics, but I might be missing some. So quite big topics this year will be about sustainability and impact. We will have, for example, a panel discussion about circular economy and sustainable businesses with companies like Too Good To Go. We'll have a co-founder from Glovo that's also very much focused on sustainability. I'll have the Wallapop's CEO talking about basically the entire topic of sustainability, and some workshops focused on this industry. We will be covering mental well-being of founders with various workshops on this topic. We'll have quite a few talks focusing on PR, how startups can basically tell their story out there. We'll have topics about funding and valuations. So that's actually, I think, good to mention that we'll have many also partners and managing partners of VC firms speaking. So straight from yeah, the best people to hear from, how to raise money, what to put in the pitch deck, right? We'll speak about future of work. We'll have panel discussion actually focused on the future of work, with founders from Talent Garden, with Japatical, and different interesting companies. I can't remember now the names.
Well,
And
you seem to be
yeah,
doing really well.
trying
You got lots of them.
we have a very big agenda with a lot of interesting speakers. I'm trying to capture everyone now, and yeah, a lot of pitch preparation with our main pitch competition. We'll also have a particular, very focused session to educate founders how to prepare for the pitch. Additionally, we'll have another pitch competition happening on the workshop stage about metaverse and Web3. This is something, a very growing topic, right? Quite popular nowadays. So we thought, we should definitely speak about it. And we will have a workshop speaking about ChatGPT to figure out how you can actually work with it. If it's a friend or if it's a enemy for you, how to approach the entire topic. And yeah, also quite important, we will speak about startup regulations, how to protect your IP and all of this. So yeah, I think I try to cover as much as possible. Of course, we'll have like bootstrapping topics, how to bootstrap, or how to crowdfund, how to like work with accelerators, all possible topics that could potentially be interesting. Well, that definitely interesting for founders. That will be covered.
Well, you answered all the questions I was asking and more. So that was a very thorough answer. So there's so much to do in terms of networking opportunities, really cool sectors like VR and AI, and more traditional ones as well. As you said, a very successful one has to do with just delivering food or getting food, which Too Good to Go is just we've been big fans of that here at Metropolitan. Is there any networking activities that people should be aware of that they should plan, so that when you mentioned a couple, but how can they prepare to network?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So, first of all, we will have our networking app. It's a top-notch AI-based networking app where all attendees will be able to connect with everyone, schedule meetings, and the coolest feature of all is as you log in and you put basically the information about like what kind of interests you are interested in, what you're looking at. The app will just become right, swipe left, basically, to connect with all attendees. And it's a great feature because the app we tested also last year and before the pandemic. It really brings you the profiles that could be of value and an interesting connection for you. So, for example, if you're interested in finding investors or partners, it will really help you to find it through the app. So it's highly recommended that everyone who attends the events, they are using the app. Yeah, they're trying the best. Yeah, trying to basically do, how do you say it? Trying to do the best with the app possible. And
Okay.
we will have big networking party at the end of our first day. It's happening in the venue nearby from between 7 and 11. And yeah, there will be a big networking party with some spoiler alert, free drinks. And that will be a great moment also for you to, yeah, maybe have a little bit of fun, to mingle with the crowd, and with a couple of drinks also, it's easier to speak with people. And yeah, speaking of networking parties, actually, it's not the only one that we are organizing. On the second day, one of our partners, Cloudworks, that will also be running a lounge area at the Youth Startup Summit. They will organize another networking party at the end of the second day on the rooftop of their co-working places, Casa Punches, I think it's called.
Okay.
Very beautiful venue. It will be a small event, but yeah, another opportunity to network. And yeah, of course, we during the event, during 2 days, we will be having an area with topic focused activities, which some of them will be run by Metropolitan and maybe some of your colleagues. And yeah, this is where you can come to break the ice, try to connect with some other attendees, or meet like-minded, interested people. So many opportunities. I won't be able to mention everything now, but I think most important is networking app. Yeah,
Well, I love your enthusiasm. I've been there
we,
a
we are so
number of
excited,
times.
you can't imagine.
And also, I want to point out that you guys have a large distribution in your newsletter. You got like 67,000 people or something,
Yeah,
because this really does cover what I always kind of assumed was most of Western Europe, but there are some Eastern European countries as there. And if people would like to sign up, I strongly encourage it, because you guys are very, I guess, consistent in putting out messages to find out what are the cool stuff going on in different startups around the world, and something particularly in the EU, as I would suggest.
yeah.
Um,
I think the best thing about our newsletter that it's a very personal letter from our founder Thomas, who every week sits down, write the contents straight for your mailbox with latest news that are happening around startup, around investment area, and yeah, pretty much we'll also cover the events and all other interesting opportunities that could be interesting for founders, investors, or anyone who's interested in this.
I'm very active here within the EU ecosystem. Um, how do you guys, how does Thomas and this team find so much information about so many of these startups?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, we receive over 50 press releases every day, and we have our editorial director who is a superhero. She screens through all of them and she tries to pick the most interesting, the most yeah, the hottest news. And then of course we have a team of contributors that are screening through content online. We since we also create the articles like top list of top 10 most promising startups from Spain or that are innovating in the sustainable field. So we do have support from our contributors, and we receive a lot of similar content as suggestions. And we also have startup analysts that sometimes look here and there. And as a team, we contribute a lot also to the topics that we're personally interested in. And yeah, that's how it all comes down.
Well, here at Metropolitan, we love to cover the stories of people who have chosen to move to Barcelona and make it their home. But in particular, we like to talk about people who have moved here and this is not their first language, or
Mhm.
Catalan or Spanish, and the challenges that faces. So it's kind of hard. It sounds sexy to have a startup, but many of us realize it just sounds sexy. The reality is that it can really suck for the first few years because you're kind of alone. You hire people; it's a small team. They rely on you to make sure that you pay them so they can pay the rent. They become close friends, and as we know, it's a rough road. And so I really champion and want to acknowledge the work that you guys are doing to showcase and give inspiration to people across the EU in starting up their I guess their companies. But here at Metropolitan, we also like to cover stories, and in particular, we're doing a very big emphasis on covering women who are running their companies because it's hard enough to move to another country, learn a language, start a companies in another country that's not yours is tough. And if you happen to be a female, because we all know that 2% of the funding around the world from VCs goes to women, it's such a hard thing to do. Are you going to have female founders at the event?
Absolutely, we are incredibly proud to have the ratio of 40% female founders speaking at the event versus 60. Well, we are still trying to balance it more, so we have more female founders and speakers at the event. But yeah, we managed to find a lot of successful women, and successful doesn't mean that this person is running a giant company, but it also means that, well, you made it, you created a startup, it's doing great. And it's a driven team, and people love it. So we do have a lot of female founders, and yeah, we're extremely excited to welcome and hear from even more of them at the event.
Excellent. And what is your what's your personal favorite sector for the EU summit? Or what is it that you in the past has been the most interesting for you?
To be honest, I find quite a lot of things interesting. So it would be difficult for me to pick some. I For me personally, I was always a little bit scared of public speaking and like whole PR topics. So whenever it's something happening on our workshop stage, talking like how to embrace yourself, how to position yourself out there, talk about your startup, about your products, all the topics focused on PR and marketing. I personally really like them. Yes, it's very knowledgeable for me and something that I can definitely benefit from in the future as well. And yeah, but I'm personally not planning to start a startup. So funding, I think it's very important for founders, but this the topics I would rather go to hear successful stories, just to get inspired. And yeah, something related to marketing. Sustainability also is quite interesting right now, how startups are focusing more and more on building impactful businesses now.
Excellent. I love the way you ended that. So Metropolitan is going to be there. I love going to hear all these successful stories, and there's a lot of really great energy from people who have traveled here from other cities, people who are locally based, and as you say, a lot of people who always wanted to start their company but they're not quite sure how to. And you guys provide plenty of really good not just energy, but really great practical, usable advice. And as you said, Metropolitan will be helping to, I guess, make the event even greater, as well as participating and meeting lots of people. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
At this point, I think I've shared everything possible. So yeah, it would be great to meet you at the Youth Summit this year. And yeah, very very excited, Victor, for to see you there and to meet all the founders and startup enthusiasts from all over Europe.
Well,
And
as we did it at our last cocktail, I'm involved in one or two or three events every week, and I love to promote what you guys are doing. So I'll be doing that more.
thank
And I want to remind people, if you buy your tickets through Metropolitan, you get 20% off. Thank you to you guys for allowing our readers to get that benefit. And if I don't hear from you, I will be online and promoting this great event. So thank you so much for being with us this morning.
thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty. Take care.
Have a good weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay.